translation, bridge the gap. Communication so real, no cap. A different language for woman and man. Decode the language and you'll understand. Nah, it'll help you out. Rest assured, women have no doubt. Pillow talk, dinner talk. Give you the info to walk the walk. Now, sometimes it's a foreign language. Now know what's up, don't mistake it. This'll help you every situation. Empower yourself, it's liberating, yeah. Communication, don't need no speculation. Just get that clarification, then reconciliation. Man translation, yeah. Man translation, yeah.
What's going on, good people? It is Sunday, Columbus Day coming up. Where's so many holidays?
It is now Indigenous Peoples Day.
Indigenous Peoples Day. Whoa, okay. Well, now we're making progress in the world. Welcome, guys. What's up? How's everybody doing? I hope everybody is doing just fine. I hope you all are not allowing any external thing to take away your joy or your peace. Welcome to the Man Translation Show. We are live.
Yes.
We are live. This is not Memorex. We are live. We talk about cutting edge stuff. We talk about family, relationships, communication, perception. We talk about good stuff on this show. So you're not going to hear this stuff any other place that you go except for right here. Okay? I am Scott C, and this is Dante V, your resident communication and relationship strategist. What's up, Dante?
What up? What's going
And
on?
also, this so happens to be my son. Look at. And why is he my son? Because I want to show that African American women can have healthy relationships with their adult sons. He is an adult with a mind and opinions and perceptions of his own. Yes. All by himself.
Indeed.
And we kind of just, we just kind of bounce off each other very well. We don't always agree. And we don't have
to. But we're not required to at all.
Exactly. We don't have to. Y'all think communication is that you have to agree with me and you have to do that, whatever it is I do. Last week we were talking about why I'm single, because I get that question all the time. You're so beautiful. You're so smart. You're so this. Why are you by yourself? Because I choose to be. Yeah, that's it. That's all. That's it. So this week, I want to talk about the gap in leadership, because women have been holding it down for a really, really long time. And I want to know, where are the men in the community? Where are the men role models? Where are the men? We need the men. The men, I got my military shirt on. The men are missing in action. And we have to go behind enemy lines and get them. What you think, Dante?
I don't know, because some people want to be willing captives. It's almost like okay. So we know the story of Mario, Princess Peach, right? Every freaking level, Princess Peach gets caught. Why? She just want to be caught.
Never heard of it.
Mario? You never heard of Mario? Super Mario, the brothers.
Never played it.
You didn't have to play it. The only thing you got to do is know about it. But that's fine, because there's someone out there that actually knows what I am talking about. Princess Peach gets caught every freaking level. Why?
Because she. Well, they just trying to catch somebody in the
game. Well, they're trying to save her.
Oh, they're trying to save her.
But she don't want to be saved.
She don't want to be saved.
That's just my opinion. So yes, you can only reach out to people who want to be helped, who need to be helped, or people who need guidance. And that ain't everybody, unfortunately.
It's not everybody, but I just, we just have to understand that there is an order to life, period. Right. There's an order to life, whether you believe in the Bible, don't believe in the Bible, whatever you believe, there is an order. And I believe that, men were created first, they were here first, and they established that order. And I believe that as long as men are not in their rightful place, in their rightful position, there's not going to be any order globally, internationally,
Right. Yeah.
worldwide. There's not going to be, we're going to still continue to keep going through what we're going through. First and foremost, we need the men in the home, whether you are with the woman, y'all together, not together, can't stand each other guts. You at least should be cordial enough to be able to come together for the children.
The
And so
children.
the reason that I'm talking about this is because it's something that's really close to my heart. I have a heart for men, and I talk to men all the time, all the
Uh-huh.
time, all the time. And what I'm finding is, like you said, Dante, a lot of men don't have any guidance, and a lot of men are very broken. They're very broken, and they don't want anybody to know that they're broken. So they hide behind this bravado, they hide behind this ego, they hide behind this pride, they hide behind all these false masks because they don't want anybody to know they're broken. But I can see your brokenness. And so when I talk to men, that's what I speak to. I speak to their brokenness. And women are at a disadvantage trying to raise boys to be men. We're at a disadvantage. There are so
Uh-huh.
many feminized men. Men are so feminine these days. Oh my God. You can't look at social media. Men are twerking. I don't want my man to twerk. No. Stand up straight. Don't be bending over, jiggling. I do not want no. Let me say it right now. I'm gonna always say some stuff that you ain't heard before, and I'm also gonna say some stuff that's gonna step on your toes. I do not believe that men should twerk. No, no twerking, men. Mm-mm. I am so tired of men twerking. I don't want you. I don't want you moving your hips unless it's in a private setting. Period. No. Yeah. No twerking. No, no, no. No, 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 no. No twerking. No, men. Stop it. Can't. It is the worst thing ever. It's just the worst. It burns my eyes.
I can tell. I can definitely tell.
No man should be twerking. You should not be bending over, gyrating your behind back there.
Go and take a sip. Go and take a sip. You like you
It's
went
hot.
through
It's hot. I gotta let it cool off.
a.
Who's laughing at me? Hey, Miss Robinson. Come on, help me out. Miss
No,
Robinson, help me
I'm
out.
with you. It's the. I mean, I'm all for the feminine, women stay feminine, and of course the masculine men do that.
Hey, the men who twerk probably aren't looking for hetero relationships, not to be confused with the ones who can actually dance. Okay.
We gonna keep
Well,
hetero over here. All the way
well.
to keep it hetero.
And I don't even mind heterosexual men dancing, but I still don't think that you should twerk. I don't even think you should be twerking if you're whatever. If you're a man, period. I just don't think you should be twerking. Whether you are homosexual or heterosexual, you should not be twerking. It just looks not cute at all. And it's just so, even when women do it, I ain't even going front. I don't even really like when women do it. They got
Uh-huh.
little kids doing it. But how do we get
Mm.
on twerking? But anyway, I don't.
Leadership.
I think that we should go back to having discretion, and I just think that some things should be done in private
No, absolutely,
because
absolutely.
it's really it's kind of, and we've had teenagers, we've had vulgar dances too. We've had dances where we had to, you know, yeah. So our dances back in the day, we did similar things and I didn't like those things then. I just think that some things that I think we should have decorum about ourselves about some things, and I think some things just should remain private. And I
Uh-huh.
understand that it's a It don't really, to me, I don't really even consider it a dance. Actually, I really don't. It's a move
Whew.
that you make, but not necessarily what I call it dancing. But anyway, I just want the men, the uncles, the brothers. I want them to step up to the plate because I just had a conversation with a group of men, and it was the saddest conversation that I ever had in my life. And it took everything in me not to bust out and start crying because we had 40-year-olds and 60-year-olds and all these different age groups and black and Hispanic and white men in this group, and they were acting all like 7-year-olds. They were all acting like 7-year-olds, and it just kind of just it hit me that I never realized that maturity was a blessing. It is a
Absolutely.
blessing to grow and mature. It really is. And I never knew that until I was talking to these people. When you get stuck in your at the age of your trauma, it doesn't benefit your life. It doesn't benefit your community. It doesn't benefit your family. It doesn't benefit anybody to be immature and to not grow. As people, individually, collectively, we should always be growing. We should always be maturing. We should always be getting better. We should be talking to as many people as we can. We I really embrace Miss Robinson's perspective. Her perspective is necessary, is needed. Kwani Lou, I really, we really need those perspectives. It is emotionally stunted, but
Absolutely.
it is emotionally stunted, but you don't have to stay stunted. That's the thing. You do not have to stay stunted. You know what I'm saying? I was emotional when I was young too. And as I grew, I matured because I made a decision that I didn't want everybody to be pushing my buttons all over the place and popping off at everybody that say something that I don't like, and I don't have no self control. I'm always just popping off because you said something, which means that you got more control over me than I have over myself. Like once I started to mature, I made a decision. I said, you know what? I'm not gonna live my life this way. I'm not gonna let somebody every time they say something, I gotta pop off or I gotta respond to every time somebody say something or react every time somebody say something.
Ooh. That not responding to people when you want to, that's a whole level of self control that,
It is.
whew, especially knowing
Yeah,
that you can verbally tear them apart without saying one curse word. Like you know this, but yet you just sit back and you just let them go.
exactly.
That's
And because you know
that's
what? And when you do that, what you really see is that it's a performance. They're really performing. And when you're responding to everything and reacting to everything that somebody say and everybody you popping off and somebody pushing your buttons and you cussing and like what does it solve? You just showed me just how immature you are and that you can't even handle a simple conversation. You can't even be civil in a conversation. Everybody has to agree with you. Nobody can disagree with you without you popping off.
oh, I'm always quick to be, quote unquote, the devil's advocate in a situation. Nope. I mean,
We can't have male leadership if men are going to act like children and not realize that they are emotionally stunted. You gotta come to a place and say, I gotta be better than this. Like I
hmm,
gotta be better than this, and I have to do better than this.
no, but you have they have I think the main thing is they have to actually see that and then do the work needed to complete the actual action. I don't think that they see it, and if they do see it, they're so paralyzed as far as, well, what do I do next, that they don't do anything.
It's not even to me. It's not even work. I just one day made the decision and said I'm just not going to give my power away. That was it. It wasn't even no work. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to let this man push my buttons. I'm not going to be all out here fighting and arguing with people. I'm not going to do all that. I'm not going to give you my power. I'm just not going to do it. And not only that, my grandmother, she used to say, if you see two people arguing, they're not going to fight. Y'all just putting on a dramatic show is basically what you're doing. You're putting on a dramatic show. And that's not what we need from our male figures. Because women have been holding it down, but everything needs a balance. Everything needs a balance. So if women are constantly in the home, raising the children, constantly with the children, having to be responsible, and the men are not in their position because they are immature or they're emotionally stunted or whatever the issue is, the problem is, I talked to a man yesterday, and he said he was raped by like 3 of his uncles. Like his uncles raped him repeatedly. And, he started talking to me, because that's what people do. That's what they've been doing. He just started talking to me about that he wanted to write a book. Mm-hmm. How does he know I write books? I don't know. But he was like, I want to write a book, and I was sharing with him. And we had a great conversation. And, he was talking about how he was raped by his uncles, like repeatedly. And that he went from prison to prison. So he started drinking and he started doing drugs to cope with the fact that he had been molested by his uncles.
He got to release that.
And that's what I told him. I said, you got to release that because that's going to help somebody. He told me about how he never talked to anybody about it because he felt the shame. And he said, I don't even know why I feel so comfortable telling you this. He said, I haven't even told my family this. And I'm sitting here telling you. And I just was like, oh my God. And he talked about how the mother, she had issues, but his daughter was always left with him. But because he had a drug problem and an alcohol problem, he would wake up and don't know where he left his daughter. He would have to go around and try to find where his daughter was. And I said, well, your daughter, she also needs the book. Because I'm sure she's carrying a lot of rejection.
Right, abandonment,
and issues and stuff, herself. So we're talking, our men are missing in action because they're broken and nobody is speaking to their brokenness. And as a result, women are exhausted.
Women have been tired. Women have been tired. And it's showing that they've been tired because a lot of times when you're tired, you just kind of stop caring about certain things or you're just letting certain things slide. And it's like, I know this isn't me, but I need a break. The women have been tired for years. Years. And they need a release. They need an outlet. Like, I understand why every week they going on trips somewhere. I get it. I understand.
But meanwhile, where are the men?
Not being held accountable.
Where are the role models in our communities? Like, we have been infiltrated. We have literally been infiltrated. Boys are growing up more effeminate, because they're being raised by women. I don't know. But I know that.
That's all they say. That's all they say. My son at one point, he had his mother, the other lady that raised their mom. You had the sister, and it was like 2 cats. So it's like, so he started to develop some of those, feminine tendencies, the way he would sit, talk, hand gestures, all that stuff. It was like, yeah, nah, I need to be around way more than what, than what I am, what I was allowed to be. Because, the standard order is they give men every other weekend. I was like, no, we need more than that.
Well, because women are, more so the nurturers and men provide the financial. So that's the way the courts are set up, for men to provide the financial and women to, be the nurturer.
They need to do away with that.
I was just really, I just really just felt so, I don't know, I just felt like we were doomed. Like after I got finished talking to them, I just felt doomed because their priorities and stuff were all twisted up. The things that were important to them, family was on the list, but I was saying to them, how are you going to serve your family with this mind, with this mentality that you have? You know what I'm saying? If you are an adult and your development is arrested and you're emotionally stunned and you can't handle the emotions of, maybe your daughter went out and she came home and she got an issue and a problem, how are you going to deal with her hurt and her pain and her disappointment and her discouragement when you haven't even dealt with your own?
Right.
Yes. Oh, women are also becoming numb. The ones of us who can and do speak to their brokenness end up in the friend zone in romantic settings. Woo!
That's because the reason why they end up in the friend zone is because you're dealing with someone who does not know how to handle such, or you're talking to someone who doesn't know how to handle such. So it's like, yeah, we're gonna friend zone that. Yeah, she got too much stuff going on. There's too much bags on. Like they're not willing to help you at least unpack or let you vent or whatever. So yeah, friend zone
But
them.
you know what? The thing is that I've learned in my situation, I've learned, in dealing with men and men being broken, and you're having these conversations, they do become attracted to you. But we did a show called Ministry, Mate, or Marriage. Okay? And a lot of times, people that come into your life are not coming into your life because they're there for you to marry them. Some people are coming there because they are ministry. They are there for you to help them. And because we are of the opposite sex and the opposite sex, we are attracted. We don't understand that just because you're attracted to somebody does not mean you have to sleep with them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and women are becoming numb, and numb is not a good thing to be.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because ain't nothing worse than just existing.
Numb is just not a good thing to be. It's like deep down inside, you've given up and you're just going through the motions.
Yeah, because it's like you tried this one part, that's not working. You tried, so it's like everything that you've tried, it's just not working. So it's like, what do? You just literally just go through whatever motions. You just accept whatever. I get it.
But it can't keep continuing. It can't keep continuing, especially in our culture. It can't keep continuing. Unless you pick up the pieces and start to begin to put the pieces together, you're going to remain broken. We cannot remain broken. We can't remain stunted. We can't, because we're losing probably more than one generation of children.
No, absolutely, because this is getting passed down. For every one generation that something's missing, the next generation is
The
like,
next
well, we don't need it,
generation. Yeah,
so
we talk about
they don't even include it.
exactly. We're talking about two or three generations, of children. We cannot keep allowing celebrities to be the role model.
No, because they're just people too. We just know
Well, that's the thing, Luke. I think I've kind of opted out.
I don't
I've opted
know.
out. The options are accept whatever or opt out of romantic relationship. I've opted out. I'm just
I,
because I just think there's too much. I think it's too much work to do. And I
that's
don't want to be.
but that's the thing. It shouldn't be any work. Like,
When you're dealing with a broken person, it is work.
well, then, we're not dealing with broken people. If you're not coming healed,
They're
why are
not.
you here?
Well, we talked about that last week. You
I
asking me
know.
why. You asking me why am I single? Single means to be whole. Okay. So you ask me why I'm single, and my question now to you is why are you not single? Because you should not be connecting your life to the life of another person broken. because all you're going to do is do more damage to that person's
Mm-hmm.
life. And it's not going to help you to be in a codependent relationship. And so, you know what I'm saying? So you just going around in the same circle and you're not really accomplishing anything in that cycle.
Right.
So, you need to come to somebody's life as whole as you possibly can be.
Absolutely. Yes. Agreed.
We're
But
always going to have some issue that we're dealing with. But if
yeah.
I'm like, at least 90% of my pieces are together, we can get something done.
But people not willing to do that type of work and or wait that long because they don't want to deal with themselves on a
That's
consistent
why these
basis.
conversations are important. When we left out the conversation, my prayer is that when I talk to people, that I always make them think, because I know that we live in a society that does not think. We don't live in a thinking society because society don't want you to think. They want to dictate to you what to think. So if you could put something on people's mind when you have a conversation, and when they walk away, they think about it on a deep level, and they begin to look at that man and that woman in the mirror. That's what starts the work. It all
Right.
starts with a conversation.
An honest, open conversation.
Right. There's always some level of work in relationships. Healing is a cyclical and it's not a destination. So I don't think anyone shows up fully healed. Exactly. That's why I
Right.
said, 85%, they can be whole, still working through triggers and little traumas. Absolutely. But if you haven't done any other work and you just
Why are you here?
you don't have no self-awareness, you don't think nothing is wrong with you, and then you want to join your life with somebody else's life and do more damage. That's the thing.
Nah, we ain't doing this.
Absolutely, it's always some level of work. But the thing is that we are so broken. We want to just take that and just say, oh, we're in love or we're in a relationship, and then the relationship ends up toxic because you can't really get. It's like you can't get to the love because there's too much stuff in the way. The love can't even breathe. It can't even come to the surface because you got triggers and traumas, like Lou said. You got triggers and traumas. I got triggers and traumas. You don't have any emotionally intelligence. I don't have any emotionally intelligence. So everything is a constant argument. I'm constantly pushing your buttons, you pushing mine. So it's constant toxicity. So for me, every relationship that I have with a man, I want them to walk away with some kind of healing, some type of awareness. And the thing that I tell men all the time is, we need you. We need you.
Mm-hmm.
We need you. Your mother, if she's alive, she needs you. Your nieces
Yeah,
and your nephews.
they also have to believe that as well. They have to
I
believe that
don't
they're
know.
needed
It's
because
like whenever I tell a man he is needed, it's almost like a little tear comes in his eye. A little, like,
yeah.
fighting back the tears, because nobody has never told me that I was needed. And not only do I tell them they are needed, but you are necessary.
You telling them the opposite of what they hear on a consistent basis.
You are needed and you are necessary. We need
Absolutely.
you. You are necessary. We need you clothed in your right mind, in your righteous mind. We need you in your place and in your position. We need you whole as you can possibly get, and we need you healed, and we need you now. Now.
If they heard that on a consistent basis, we would see change.
And then,
We would
and then
definitely
the
see
next
change.
thing that comes out their mouth is, I never met anybody like you.
Because again, you're the opposite.
Yes, Lou. Early and often we need, NEED, need. Because people, they got so much pride. I don't need no man. Yes, you do. You came out of the loins of a man. You floated right on out of there. You came out of the loins. You were carried in the loins of a man. Yes, we do. And we need black men because black is the culmination of all colors. So this is not a color thing. This ain't about black and white. This is about cultural.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to stop lying to ourselves and saying we're not. I'm not talking about needing a man for sex. I'm not talking about needing a man as a romantic situation. We're talking about we need black leadership in the home, in the community. We need black role models. And we're not talking about celebrities. You don't know them people. They don't know you.
Nope.
You don't know them. Stop trying to be like them. You don't know them. You don't know what they're dealing with behind closed doors. Stop
Do
looking
not.
at these people.
Because some of them be just as lost.
Stop looking up to them. They got issues and problems too. They're not gonna come and tell you because they have an image to uphold. We need touchable. You have role models. You have leaders. You know, growing up in the projects, one of the things that I learned was some of these bums. These some of the smartest people you ever want to meet.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, these scared
Full of knowledge. Mm-hmm. They just gave up on life.
Will you take advice from a poor man or a man who ain't got nothing? Yes, I do, because you don't know where he been. You don't know what he knows.
Absolutely.
In the movie with Tyler Perry, the family that prays, the mother had been taking stock advice from that man. She was a millionaire, but he checked out. He looked like a bum, but he was a genius, financial genius. But I think his family was in a car accident and died. Kids, his wife, and he just checked out of life. But when they went to that meeting and he cleaned himself back up, he said, "Oh, she said, don't you recognize your old colleague, financial genius, had been giving the mother stock tips. The mother was a millionaire. The daughter didn't even know the mother was a millionaire." Stop judging people by their situation and their circumstances. You don't know who people are. You don't know where they've been, and you don't know what they know. Yes, I would take advice from somebody that was what we considered a bum. I sure would. Just like in the movie with Eddie Murphy, the two brothers that was on Wall Street, then they lost everything and was laying in the gutter. You can't take my knowledge from me. You can't take from me what I know. People judge you by your situation and your circumstances, but you don't know what I know. You don't know what my journey is. You don't know where I'm going. And you don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow. Today I could be in a situation. Tomorrow I could be a manifestly multimillionaire. And I could be one now. Just ain't bragging about it.
Because everything ain't for everybody.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to stop this, looking at the outward appearance. And because look, people are being scammed because they going to dealerships, sitting in cars and taking pictures of cars that they don't own. Because why? They know that you fall for the material side of life. You need to be listening to what people saying. That video with Stormy is circling around the internet. How she was sitting there judging that girl. Play, girl, stop it. And you sitting there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's supposed to be a friend or some type of fitness coach or something like that.
Money cannot buy class. Let me tell you something. I certify coaches. She ain't bit more no coach than a man in the straight moon. Just because you call yourself something, that don't mean that's what you are. You will know them by their fruit. Has she accomplished some things? Absolutely. But MLM within itself, I don't really too much care for MLM because in order for me to make money, I got to recruit. I have to recruit you and then have you sell, and I get a piece of everything that you sell. So the more I recruit, the more money I make. So it's not it's not that you're making millionaires, it's that you are recruiting enough people so that you can become a millionaire. Will they eventually become a millionaire in the process if they recruit people underneath them? That's how MLM works. The more people you recruit under you, the more money you make because you get a piece of everything that they make. That's a
Oh
hard
no.
hustle. That's a hard hustle. You know what I mean? It's easier ways to make money than that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to knock her hustle, but we don't need that in our community. Because why? Because she need healing. You can look at her and tell she need healing. You can look at her and tell. And I'm not going. I don't want. I'm not going. I don't want to say anything negative about her. You know what I'm saying? Because she is doing what she knows how to do. She thinks she's helping, but at some point you still got to stop and say, hey, it's more to life than just chasing money.
That's a
Because
whole different. That's a whole different thing.
money is a
Chase your talent.
magnifier. It's going to magnify what's already there. And within itself, there's nothing wrong with making money.
No.
It's not what you do, it's how you do it. How you do what it is that you're doing. You know what I mean? So me personally, I don't want to have to scam people in order to make money because I got to live with me. At the end of the day, when I'm, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that part.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
So
Ah,
back to the men. So I'm listening to these men, and I'm just saying to them, okay, I'm listening to the things that you have gone through. I'm listening to the things that have happened to you. But you gotta make it count. You gotta make it count. I can't continue to go through life saying, oh, this person did this to me and they did that to me. Okay, what did I learn from the situation that made me better?
first things first, what you have to understand is if you're so concerned about what this person did and what that person did, where are you at mentally? How old are you mentally? Because being over 30, but still acting like you 10 or 12 is an actual thing. Because your mentality is saying, "Hey, this person did this, did this person did that, and I gotta get them back. I gotta get the whole one up thing." Because most men have pride and ego, and they don't want anybody getting over on them. So now that's their main focus: getting back at such and such and such.
But your life is a sum total of your own decisions. Your life is a sum total of
Mm-hmm.
decisions that you make. The decision is your decisions is what changes the direction of your life. So decision making is critical. Okay. So,
Yeah.
I'm also having conversations with people, not just men, with people in general about not being able to get over what happened in your childhood and your mom did this and your dad did that and this person did this and like your mom and dad did the best that they could do. These are men who treat women poorly based on what happened to them in middle school. Boom. Because why? Because they perpetrating what was done to them and they're not dealing with it, so it's displaced. So if you got mommy issues, if you're a man and you got mommy issues, you get in a relationship, you're going to take out on that woman all your
You're gonna
unresolved
punish.
issues you have with your
Yeah,
mother.
you're gonna punish her based off of how you quote unquote thought you were being treated.
You see, my thing is, I never allowed myself to hold a grudge against my mother or my father. I just never allowed myself. I accept people.
Because that is the early stage of conflict resolution. I have an issue with you. I respect you as a person and the title you hold, mother, father, whomever. So let's fix this. Whereas this person did me wrong, you hold on to it for years, potentially might cut that person off. Well, that's conflict resolution. That's not taught.
Well, nobody never taught me conflict resolution either, but it was because I had respect for
Hmm.
my mother and my father. I did not judge my mother. I could have, and I find that to be such a hindrance in a lot of people's lives When I was this age, I got put on punishment. I got hollered at. I got this. But how is that helping you now?
It's not. It takes more energy to hold on to something that you shouldn't than to fix it and get on with it.
How is that helping you? Your parents are not perfect. Even if they were taught, they wasn't listening to what was being taught to them. My mother had an amazing mother. My grandmother was amazing. It's because of my grandmother that I turned out to be the person that I am. So she had the same access to her mother that I did. So why didn't you listen to your own mother? So like I'm not going to grow up and hold. It was a lot of things my mom did that I didn't like and didn't agree with. But it's not my place to judge her. It's not my place to hold on to it. Oh well, I remember moving around a lot as a kid. I remember getting taken out of schools, and because unfortunately that comes along with poverty. You have to move out. You got money to pay your rent. You don't. You got to move. So we moved a lot until we moved into projects. It's amazing how we had apartments and had to move. But moved to projects, we stayed there forever. Ain't never had to move out. So I didn't like it there. My grandma didn't like me being there, but it was the best that my mom could do under her own circumstances. And I'm not gonna judge her because that was the path she took. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to learn as much as I can from the past. I get so tired of adults mad at the way that they were raised. You know what I mean? People are so angry with their mothers and fathers because how they was raised. Oh, I had to watch my little brother. Well, who else was going to watch him? Daddy ain't here. Who else going to watch the little brother? Mama got to go. And we have to be a family. And what's wrong with you watching your little brother? Well, we had to watch her while Mama went out and party. Well, then Mama needed to let her hair down for 5 more minutes. She'll be back in a minute. And I'm not saying it's right. And I'm not saying that I agree with it. I'm saying it happened. Get over it. Deal with it.
Your mama trusts you enough to watch your own child, your own sibling, rather than get somebody else in there, and we don't know what's going to happen.
Don't you just love Lou? I love intelligent people. We got some intelligent people that come on this page. Seeing the humanity of our parents. Oh, Lord, right there. That's it, right there. Like right there. Right there. Seeing the humanity of our parents is key to healing that most people are unaware of and or don't talk about out loud. But we're gonna talk about it out loud on this show. We're gonna talk about things that ain't nobody else talking about. And that is the key thing. Your parents are human. Let them be who they are. I accepted my mother for who she was. I didn't try to make her out to be and have this idealism about who a mother should be and what a mother should do and how a mother should act and all of that. I just accepted her for who she was. I could see her pain. I went through the pain with her. I was there with her. I was 3 years old when I heard my mother be raped. 3. I remember it clearly. And had he found me, he probably would have did something to me too. But I hid in the closet. So he didn't know I was there. So I had to listen to this man literally rape and beat my mother and sound like he was pounding on meat. He was punching and punching and this became the pattern for her life. It didn't just stop at 3. It continued on with every man she was with beat her. Not just a smack. We're talking beat, punch, kick, stab, drag. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I saw her pain. I could feel her pain. And the last thing I was going to do was judge her. Why can't you see that your mom is doing the best she can? I just get so tired of people complaining about what their mother did and dad gets a pass. Dad out here rolling stone. He ain't even a stone no more. He an avalanche. He done slept with so many women. He don't even know how many women. He out here just Wilt Chamberlain. Just boom. You will never begin the healing process, or you will never mature or grow holding on to stuff that your parents did. Now, we ain't talking about molestation because I'm tired of people touching kids. We ain't talking about that. That's a whole nother something else.
They got
So
that.
getting your butt spanked and being on punishment and stuff like that, come on now. Your parents are human. And a lot of parents were not sure. A lot of parents didn't know. You know, when I became a parent, I just went and got some books and started reading because I didn't know. So I had to teach myself.
Right.
And so to me, you don't get off the hook because you haven't been trained. To me, that's not a viable answer.
It's not. And I'm sorry, maybe it's just me, but I'm tired of people using that as an excuse because how are we able to identify what's wrong but yet not fix it? Oh, well, because I don't know, my dad wasn't here. I don't know how to be loved. Why can't we love yourself? Oh, well, because my dad wasn't this and my dad wasn't. Just you identify it, fix it. It's not like you don't know something's wrong with me. I don't know what it is. No, I quickly identify with what exactly is wrong with you, and then quickly follow that with an excuse as to why you are the way you are. Fix it. It's not that hard. You reaching for excuses is probably harder.
You know,
That
I think
man.
it too. I think it also boils down to the fact that I had a lot of respect for my mother, in spite of, and I love my mother, and I love my father. You know, and when you love, you know what I'm saying? Love covers. It
Mhm.
covers. Love does not judge unrighteously. And not only that, you go back to that perspective. As a child growing up, you don't know why your parent is the way they are.
Nope. And a lot of them are doing the best they can with what they have, which in some cases wasn't much.
Like you just don't know why they are the way they are because you don't have all the pieces to the puzzle. You just got your perspective and you think your perspective is that's it. Close the book, that's it. A lot of times that's an extremely painful process. It requires a person be prepared to uncover and work through generational trauma. Yes, many of the issues go back at least a couple of generations. Absolutely.
Hmm.
But you know what? The thing too that I'm finding is that is not just the generational stuff. It is also it's everything. It is your attitude, it's your thoughts, it's how you deal with your problems and issues. You know what I'm saying? It's the fact that um it's certain struggles that you had that were unresolved, and then now you see your child struggle with the same thing. You ever notice that pattern?
Hmm.
It's like, oh, if
You
you
got to
didn't
start
finish
somewhere.
school, your child struggles to finish school. Whereas though this family over here, they all finished school and their parents went to college, and then you see what I'm saying? You blaze the
Mhm.
trail to make it easy, and so it is an extremely painful, but growth always is.
Mhm.
You gotta make a decision to want to grow. So what? The process is painful. So what? It's worth it. It is worth it. It's worth it. And they have to be prepared to be the black sheep. Ooh, ooh, Lord.
That's a good
Right.
one. That's a good one
Ooh,
because you're not following what they've been through.
boom. The
So
one
you
who,
definitely gonna get the so who does she think she is doing A
boom.
B C D?
And the one
In
who
fact,
shines
what's
light on the dysfunction usually gets ostracized. And we talk about that when we did the show about the narcissistic family, where you have the
Mhm.
golden child, you have the middle child who's the invisible child, and then you have the scapegoat, which is the bloodline breaker, the generational curse breaker in the family. The black sheep is the one. That's the one. That is the one who is called to break the generational curses in the family. That is the one who has what it takes. And yes, you are going to be the black sheep. I was the black sheep. It was just me and my brother. He was the favorite. I was the invisible child and the scapegoat. Okay, and yes, you're the one that shines the light on the dysfunction. But this is the thing, though. At an early age, I don't know. I don't know how I knew it, but I never tried to be accepted. I can remember in Get Set being rejected from the Mayday poll and saying, "Oh well, I guess I just don't belong there. Let me just go back inside." And to this day, I never tried to be accepted. You know what I'm saying? So it's like deep down inside, some kind of way, you know that there's something about you that's different, something that's destined for you for greatness. You just don't know what it is. And yes, I never dealt with rejection like most people. Break all down because of rejection. I never took rejection personally,
It's
ever.
part of life. If anything, it's a stepping stone. In some cases, it might be a dodge bullet.
And wow, that's an interesting role. I got the dual role of the golden child and the black sheep. Now that's interesting because that's the polar opposite. That's interesting. See, I was the scapegoat and the invisible child. So I was the black sheep and the scapegoat. You know what I mean? But I just remember as a kid and even as a teenager, I remember just having a resilience. And I remember just going through life feeling like I was in a bubble. Like I could see everything that was going on, but I was impervious to a lot of things. I was impervious to it. A lot of things didn't penetrate. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, my mom, I don't know whether she would be considered a narcissist. I know she was bipolar, and she would have episodes that lasted for hours when she would just berate and just throw as much poisonous venom and darts, towards me. And I was literally able to take the volume out of the room. I could literally shut the volume off and see her mouth moving, but not hear a word she was saying.
Charlie Brown, mama.
I didn't even hear that part. I didn't even hear the walk walk part. I was literally able to take the volume out the room.
That's a
Like
whole superpower.
I developed a defense mechanism where I'm able to look you dead in your face and not hear a word you say. I can literally shut the volume off and not hear nothing that you say. Nothing. And be completely impervious but at the same time, have apathy for you. At the same time, feel sorry for you while you trying to rip me to shreds. Because I can see and feel your pain. And no matter what, you cannot tear me apart. Because I have a resilience. I've always been able to bounce back from anything. And come back stronger. I don't know where that came from or what it is, but I've had it all my life. So rejection never bothered me. It just taught me that, oh, okay, well, I don't belong over there, or I'm not supposed to be with these people. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, cool. All right, well, I ain't supposed to be with y'all then. Well, I'm just gonna go over there. So it was like really no big thing. But you have people that, oh my God, their heart is so broken because they reject it, and they do people that have a spirit of rejection do everything to be accepted. It's a double-edged sword, and the more that they do to be accepted, the more they get rejected.
Because you're doing too much and you're trying too hard. We know you don't fit, so stop trying.
I think that the key to it for me, I just don't take stuff personally.
No, you don't. Because not everything is meant for you. What's meant for you will find a way to you, or you will find a way to it.
Because
But
I
you
remember
having to act
thinking,
out.
I just remember thinking, you got to be in a lot of pain to dump all of that on your child.
Mm.
Gotta be in a lot of pain. You ain't got nobody else to dump it on, so you're gonna dump it on your child. And I mean, I'm gonna have to do some research on this golden child black sheep situation because that they are that is because the golden child is put on the pedestal. The golden child is expected to have good grades. The golden child gets all the support and everything. The black sheep is neglected, oftentimes abused, abandoned. So this is like this dynamic here is one for the
I,
textbooks, Lil.
okay. I need for her to chime in on this. What I think it is they know her potential. They know what she's capable of, but they don't want to give her the credit for it. But yet she's the go-to person. We need you to do A, B, C, D because, of course, they recognize the fact she's a golden child, but yet you won't get the recognition of such. And
That's interesting. That's
it's like a
interesting.
how dare you again? How dare you be able to do A, B, C, D because we didn't come from that. So how did you rise above it all?
Because the intelligence is there just by the things that's said on this platform. The intelligence is there, and the insight is absolutely there. And I'm so glad
Mhm.
that we attract these type of people to this platform. So the intelligence is there, the insight is absolutely there. So you know, um, I don't know, Lou. Maybe you can kind of expound on it a little more because that's a really interesting dynamic. Because normally the golden child is, I mean, the golden child. It doesn't have to really be by age, but it normally is. It's normally like the firstborn child, and then the middle child, and then the youngest child. But it doesn't have to go in that order. It could go really in any order. But the black sheep is the one. The black sheep
Mhm.
is the one. That's the one that's gonna catch all the. See, what did I say? I said that. It says I was put on a pedestal, see, and expected to maintain it solo. I've been told we don't worry about you. You'll be okay as a struggling young adult. Wow.
I think that
Wow.
is the worst thing
Wow.
to say to somebody, and you
Wow.
don't know the situation. What?
Because I said that the golden child is oftentimes put on a pedestal, and the expectation is very high for the golden child, and the golden child, the other children are also compared to the golden child. So the pedestal, yeah, ooh, see, so because the black sheep is neglected, abandoned, and rejected. She said so the pedestal and neglect at the same time. Wow. Wow. That is a very interesting dynamic right there. Because what does
Mhm.
that do to your mental as a child growing up? That has to be confusing.
Very confusing. And then it also, you probably struggle with your identity in the beginning because it's like, what do you do?
But for real, as I'm thinking about it, we kind of do that in society. We have somebody that's like super smart, but it's like because they super smart, we're
They
intimidated
don't
by
know.
them, and so we
Hmm.
reject them at the same time. Cause we, you know
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
Or if they need help with something and they reach out to whomever, it's like, nah, you're fine, you got it.
Woo, child. Oh my God. Makes you resourceful and resilient and hyper independent. Well, you just described me. You just described me because it does. But see, for me, because I was the black sheep and not the golden child, because I was the black sheep, it made me resourceful, resilient, and hyper independent. So it's like when you are the black sheep, you kind of go to the extreme. You become an extremist. And so I had to be resourceful because I was abandoned. My mother would leave me at 4 years old. I don't know whether it was on accident, and and this one day didn't pick me up from school. And normally the teachers will see you standing out there and your parent didn't come pick you up and they'll take you back inside. Some kind of way I got lost in the shuffle and just was standing on the corner.
Mm.
And that is the day I heard the voice of God say, walk. and give me instructions on how to get home. And that was also the first day that I was able to see in the spirit and see my angel that I've been seeing all my life. And so, even though it was a bad thing, it was a good thing. But it made me very resourceful and very resilient because it gave me like an inner compass. Because I got to the point where I would never know when I went somewhere with my mother when she would just get up and she would just get up and leave me. A little girl. I'm 4. I'm 5. I'm 6. I'm 7. So that's why, as an adult, you can drop me in the middle of the desert. I will find my way out. I have a awesome sense of direction. I call it my inner compass. I'll find my way. So whenever she would take me somewhere, I would pay attention to landmarks and things like that because I never know when she would just get up and leave me, and I had to find my way home. Because after she saw that I could walk home, that I was resourceful and I could find my way home at 4, she never came and picked me up from school again. I'm 4. You gotta be kidding me. Who does that? Somebody could have snatched me. Thank God for my angel. Somebody could have snatched me, kidnapped me, did anything. So I get that. It makes you resourceful when you're the black sheep, resilient and hyper independent. Oh my God. The strongest friend person. Woo, child. Woo! Talk about it. Talk about it.
The strong person. I mean, they have to figure it out because ain't nobody gonna help them. Nope. They don't have a choice. That's where that hyper independence comes from. It's like I've been told I got it all my life, so now you live up to the name. Oh, I got it. I'll take care of it. I'll figure it out. Like most women have that I'll figure it out personality. Don't worry about it. Because when they ask someone for help, they don't want to hear about it later on because if you're going to help somebody, help them out, that's it. Do it out of the kindness of your heart. Don't want to hear about it later. You help me because I want to help you, not so I can brag to whoever. Oh, such and such needed help, and I gave them $5 or I gave them $10 because they needed it. I don't want to hear that.
But this level of dysfunction is playing itself out in families all across America. We haven't even talked about the narcissistic dynamic, in a while. We did that show a while ago. But it plays itself out in families. This dynamic happens in all families. Somebody is the golden child, and the invisible child is normally the middle child. I don't know why the middle child always feels invisible, but it's invisible.
Yeah.
No matter what.
You just kind of just slip through the cracks. I was like, here we go.
So, but see, how does that affect you as an adult? As a man, these are conversations that we need to be, having. And I really do thank Lou for sharing because it's very insightful. It's very insightful and it's very on point. It's on point. What does that do to your mental? What does it do to your psychic? I think for me, I always try to find, the best way to take a bad thing and turn it into for my benefit.
Right. Silver lining.
Yeah.
Because it's always somewhere.
It's just looking for the optimism in every situation and people don't realize that's where the blessing is. A lot of times when people want blessings and they want all kind of stuff, but your blessings are going to come in the form of problems, and then that problem is going to be your answer
and strength.
And people be like, well, I pray for wisdom. Well, if you ask God for wisdom, He's going to give you a problem.
What?
And then you wonder, why do I have so many problems? Because you asked for wisdom.
Yes. I don't want them. Just stir up what I got.
Wow, you asked for wisdom. That's why you got so many problems. And in solving that problem, and I'm just coming to the place of this is why people gravitate. They gravitate towards me. Because I'm a problem solver. I had to solve problems. Because if I did not solve my own problems, I would not have survived. Because it starts with you solving your own problems. Okay? It starts with your own self-awareness. you know? And then from your self-awareness, now you recognize those things in other people. So then you start helping other people. And then when you get good to that, at that level, now you go to the masses. And when you hit the masses, that's when you start a business. Because now you can solve problems on a large scale. And not only can you solve problems, you can solve complex problems. A lot of people don't think deep enough to solve a complex problem. They just think everything is linear, but everything is
That's
not
not.
linear. Your thinking can't always be on a linear level. You know what I mean? And so you have to dig deeper, but you first got to dig deeper within you first. Because how am I going to see my way clear to help you if I haven't helped myself? That makes me a hypocrite. So it's easy for me to recognize because I've dealt with my own issues. And that's what we need with the men. We need to be there. We need to listen to them. We need to lend ourselves to them.
Mm-hmm. You need to create that safe haven, and they also need to be checked when need be. Everything that society tells them that they quote unquote are, they need to be boosted in the other direction. Because,
Because
like you said,
I think that when men become promiscuous, that they just in a lot of pain. It's like anybody else that have a whole lot of sex. But that's our show. It's after 8 o'clock. Close us out, Dante. This was really a great topic. I'm glad we were able to at least touch on it a little bit and to get some insight. Thank you, Ms. Robinson and Lou. You guys are so intelligent. Thank you for supporting us and coming and helping us take deep dives into these hard conversations that we need to help push our culture forward.
yes, give men that safe haven that they can actually talk to you without repercussions, getting cursed out or anything like that. Now, again, as I said before, guidance, give it to them. If they need to be checked on a certain situation, yes. Don't become the yes man or yes woman in their life because not everything we do is actually correct. But give them that safe haven that they can talk. Give them the motivation that's needed because it's a lot of stuff that we don't get as a whole. How society is set up, how the government is set up, that some women thrive because the man isn't in the home. So it's like, I don't need you. And then, the government assistance or whatever the case may be. It's like, no, men are needed. They have a role to fill. Allow them to fill that role. And I know a lot of women, hey, he's a bad this, he's a bad that. He might have been a bad boyfriend, might have been a bad husband, but as far as being a father, allow him to do such. Give him that opportunity. Hold him accountable for it. Because that's another thing. Most men are not held accountable. The jail cells are filled with men. The government's gonna hold them accountable. You do the same before they actually get to that point. That's it for me.
Thank you guys for showing up. Like and share. We will see you next Sunday. Be safe.
All right.